All right, so you have your next unit test this week, and overall, the big idea comes down to one major topic. Okay, you have to know how to solve an equation, right? If you're not sure how to solve an equation, you're not going to do very well on this test. Now, it's what we've been working on throughout the whole semester so far, just different kinds of equations, right? There was the normal ones, there's ones with variables on both sides, there's ones that have a bunch of different letters, those are the literal equations. There's the absolute value equations, and there's the word problems, okay? So this week we're going to review a little bit for your test, and then your test will happen at the end of the week, okay? So going over a couple questions with you right now. The first one has a little bit of everything, so it's a good one to go over. Okay, so go and write it down. It's 3 times 2x minus 4 equals 8x plus 14. Okay, and I still recommend draw that line down the middle so you can see a left side and a right side. Okay. Now, like I said, this question has a little bit of everything in here, right? There's a distribution, there's variables on both sides, so there's a lot going on. So, like, this would be a good kind of like test to see if you actually know like what's going on. Okay. So the first step in this question is you have to deal with that distribution. Okay. So we have to take that three, we have to multiply it to both sides or to everything on the inside. Okay. So 3 times 2x gives you 6x. And 3 times negative 4 gives you negative 12. Okay, bring everything else down. Okay, and then next we can go to the next step. Okay, now again, I cannot stress this enough. Make sure you are showing the steps, right? Don't just go line to line to line, um, because that's not showing what you're doing. Okay, and again, I know most of you guys are aware of the app that solves equations. It's very easy to know when you're using that and when you're not. So make sure you guys are showing your steps. Very important. Okay, so next thing. Now that we have variables on both sides, right? There's 6x and 8x. We need to move one of them. Technically, it does not matter which one you move. It's your choice. Okay, my preference is I always move the smaller one, but it really doesn't matter which one you choose. Okay, so let's say we move that 6x. It's positive, right? And the way you move things is you always do opposites. So opposite of positive 6x is minus 6x. Okay, what I do to one side, do to both. Again, make sure you line up. X's go with X's. I don't want to line up that 6x with that 14 because they don't go together. Okay, line across so we can stay organized. Okay, bring down the leftovers. The 6's are gone. We still have negative 12. On the right side, 8x minus 6x gives you 2x. And we still have plus 14. Okay, so now because we moved the x's to the right-hand side, I have to move the numbers to the left-hand side. So I have to get rid of that 14. Again, it's positive, so the inverse of the opposite would be negative. Okay, whatever you do to one side, do to both. And then again, if you need a calculator, use a calculator, especially on the test this week. Calculators are perfectly fine. So we still have 2x on the right. Okay, negative 12 minus 14. You spent $12, and then you spent another $14. So in total, you spent $26. Okay, and last step here, remember whenever they're attached like that, 2x, to get rid of the 2 and keep the x there, you're going to do division. So we're going to divide by 2, both sides. Okay, so 2's cancel over here, and we get x is equal to negative 26 divided by 2, negative 13. Okay, so again, make sure on the test this week, make sure you are showing those steps, right? Don't just go line to line to line. Make sure you're saying like, okay, I'm subtracting 6x both sides. I'm subtracting 14 both sides. I'm dividing by 2. Okay, show that work. If you don't show the work, then I can't give you credit. Okay, so this question has a little bit of everything. If you're able to do that on your own, you should be fine on most of the test. And there are a few other things as well, but that's the general idea. Okay. Another big topic we talked about was the literal equations. Like what happens when it's all variables? Okay, so let's say the question is looking like this. P is equal to 2a plus 2b, and I want you to solve for b, right? So right now the equation is solve for p. They want to solve for b. Okay, so I need to keep this, but get rid of everything else. Okay, now the way you do that is similar to what we did in the previous one. You're going to treat the other variables just like other numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw the line where the equal sign is. Okay, we need to get rid of that whole 2a and the 2 that's attached to the b. Okay, so when you want to get rid of an entire chunk, we can either add or subtract it. So the 2a, it's positive. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract it. Okay, whether you do to one side, do to both. But because there's no a's on the left-hand side, I'm just going to write off to the side over here. Because I can't combine p's and a's. Right? They don't go together. Okay, so line across. So these are gone. We still have 2b. Okay, and on the left-hand side, we can't combine these things, so we're just going to write them out next to each other. P minus 2a. Okay, this is a b, and it looks like a 6. Okay, and now you have to get rid of that 2. Just like with the equation we did above, it's attached. All right, so to get rid of it, we can divide. Okay, the only thing that makes you remember here is if you divide in one spot, you have to divide in every spot. So you have to divide this by 2 and this by 2. Okay, 2's cancel. And we're left with b by itself. Okay, p over 2, can't really do anything about that. But for the 2a over 2, these 2's actually cancel each other out. So it's just minus a. Now we have b by itself. So now we're done. Okay, we answered the question. Okay, so that's how you approach the literal equations. Okay, treat them just like you would do numbers. Arrange them the way you want to. Okay. I'm going to put 2 questions on the screen that I want you guys to try on your own. And again, this is a good test for yourself to see if you're ready for the test this week. Okay, so let me put both on the screen. Number 1, 2 times x plus 2 equals 7x minus 6. Okay, and then question 2, 3y plus 18 equals 9x. Okay, all right, go ahead and pause the video at this point. Try both of them. Again, these are good tests to see if you are ready for the actual test this week. Oh, and then I forgot to include the directions for question 2 are to solve for y. All right, now go ahead and pause the video and try the 2 questions. All right, so if you want to check your answer, for question 1, I'm going to go kind of fast. Okay, so we're going to distribute, get 2x plus 4. Okay, we need to get x's to one side, so I'm going to move that 2x. Okay, we have leftovers, 4, 5x minus 6. Now we need to get rid of that 6. It's negative, so I'm adding it this time. Okay, leftovers. And last step, get rid of that 5. So again, I'm showing all the steps. That's what I want to see on your test. Okay, make sure you're showing exactly what you're doing from one line to the next line. Question 2, again, that's one that's has different variables in there, right? So the question is solve for y. So I need to get rid of that 3 and I need to get rid of that 18. Let's get rid of the 18 first. It's positive, so we can subtract it. Again, I'm not going to line it up because they're not like terms. X's and numbers do not go together. Okay, so these go away. Leftovers, 3y, 9x minus 18. And last step, to get rid of that 3, divide divide, divide. Okay, so y is by itself, and this one's actually pretty nice. They actually made them both work out. 9 divided by 3 gives you 3x, and 18 divided by 3, or sorry, negative 18 divided by 3 gives you negative 6. And there's our second answer. Okay, if you were able to do both of those and you had no issues, that's a pretty good sign about this week's test. If you're struggling with those, make sure you reach out and we can make sure you're caught up.